Hello everyone! It's time for I think it'll be the semifinal one for this game collection update. This time we're going over some PlayStation 1, DS, and 3DS editions. The Wii U is going to have like its own video because I got a shit ton of Wii U games for that. But yeah. So starting off with, guys already know I have this, but I haven't put it in a game collection video, I guess. I don't know why I haven't, but I haven't. Yugioh Forbidden Memories. Yeah, so I've been trying to put this into this game collection update for a while, but ever since I started doing the record video footage of the games themselves, along with the game collection, or with the game collection update, sorry, I got like hair in my eye or something. But ever since I started doing that, I could never get this recorded because this disc isn't all that well put together. Or well, it's got a shit ton of issues. It's got like a bunch of scratches and shit all over it. But this is definitely one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh games. Mostly for nostalgia reasons. I can fully admit that if I took the nostalgia glasses off of this thing, I'd probably like some of the later Yu-Gi-Oh games a bit more. But because I can't take them off for this game, and this being my very first Yu-Gi-Oh game, the one that really got me into the series of Yu-Gi-Oh, not just the games, but the card game in general, I mean, I can't love this game enough. It's one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh games of all time, and if if you want to go back and play some old school Yu-Gi-Oh, where it kind of has some of the mechanics of what can I say, of like Duels of the Roses and that, where there's no real fusion monsters. There's just like you combine 2 cards or 3 cards or whatever in order to make a new fusion monster. That's what this basically is. It's still a really fun game nonetheless. So yeah, Forbidden Memories. Next up is a game that has a huge as fuck fan base, and also has a huge as fuck like anti fan base. I want to say like people that hate that necessarily just don't like the game, and also don't understand why people like it so much. This is the almighty Final Fantasy VII. Now, most of you may be wondering what the hell I think of it. Do I agree that it's probably one of the best games ever made? Do I agree it's the best Final Fantasy ever made? Or do I think it's an overrated pile of garbage? Personally, it's probably my favorite Final Fantasy, but I can't speak much because aside from this, the only Final Fantasies I've played are 10-2, 12, and Crystal Chronicles. I mean, I love 10-2 a lot. I didn't like 12 that much, and Crystal Chronicles was about in the middle. But 7, I love 7 a lot. Not, I can agree with some of the people who have issue with the game, with its main character and several other things with it. It does have issues. I'm not going to be one of those people that says it's perfect in every regard, no matter what you say about it. It does have its fair share of issues. However, it's not going to stop me from loving this game. I love its combat. I love its characters. Especially goddamn, the back of the case doesn't say much, but God, I can't remember him. He's that one dude with the gun for an arm. I can't remember his name right now because I haven't played the game in a while. But I really like him. He's a really fun character. I love every scene that he's in. But yeah, I just really like this game, and if you don't, that's fine. If you don't like the game, if you think it's an overrated pile of garbage, that I don't know, Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy IX or 4, 3, whatever, you think those are way like 100 million times better than this, fine. For all I know, they could be. I haven't played 4, 6, 9, or any of those. I haven't played any of those Final Fantasies. I may at some point, but the only other Final Fantasy that's on my list to check out is 4 Heroes of Light. So yeah, maybe some other later point I'll check out some of the other Final Fantasy games, but for now, this is still my personal favorite. Alright. Next up, an entry into a series that I've heard a lot about but haven't really played. This is Tomb Raider. And as you can see, this is also the greatest hits collection. That comes with a demo of Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and Gex 3. 2 games I've never actually played before. I haven't played the demos on here either. I might at some point. But yeah, I've only played up to the first like I've traveled a bit into the first tomb or whatever. Um, it's definitely a fun game. It's also definitely showed its age. Laura controls a lot like a tank, and it takes a while to get used to those kind of controls. And at times it's just a bit awkward controlling her like this. Maybe I hope in later Tomb Raider games they like improved it to where she controls like how we usually control human characters now, to where they don't have to stop just to turn. But yeah, I mean I can still say it's a fun game, just not one I'd spend extended hours on. Um, but yeah, if you want to check this game out, there's a remake they did. They released on like everything called Tomb Raider Anniversary, which was released on the PS2, Wii, 360, PS3. Might be released on some other things, the PC. But yeah, so yeah, Tomb Raider. Last game for my PlayStation 1 update. Again, another entry into a series I've never played before other than one spinoff, Megaman X4. Yeah, I've never played a Mega Man game aside from one of the Battle Network games. So this is my first one of the platformer Mega Man games. And personally, I'm really enjoying it. Granted, I suck at this game. I really do. I get my ass kicked by the first boss that you fight at the end of the second stage. But yeah, it's still a really fun game. I definitely plan to keep coming back to it. The anime cutscenes, they were probably good for their time, but they're really, really cheesy, and that might be why a lot of people like this game. I still find it a lot of fun. It's really fun to play through. The controls are really, really smooth, and I just love it a lot. I wouldn't mind checking out some of the other Mega Man games or the other games in the X series, because I've heard the X series is fucking amazing. But yeah, Mega Man X4. If you want to check it out, there's this. There's also the Mega Man X Collection, which is hard as fuck to find. But yeah. Next up is, again, another intro into a spin-off series that I've never played before. This is Mario and Luigi, Partners in Time. Yeah. This game's actually really fun. I went into this not knowing a whole lot about the Mario and Luigi series. The only time I've ever played it before was, I think, a demo of either this or Superstar Saga. Back when I was like a little kid, back when those games were like brand new. And this game is actually really fun. I would still say I enjoy the Paper Mario RPG series just a bit more, but that's not to discredit this series. I definitely plan on checking out Superstar Saga, Bowser's Inside Story, and Dream Team at some point, but I'm really wanting to get more into Partners in Time first. I'm currently, I don't actually remember where I'm at in this game. I think I'm at that part where you're in this like area of trees that suck the souls out of toads or something. But yeah, it's still a fun game. The controls are wonderful. It takes a while to get used to the combat, but after you get used to it, the fights are about as fun as the Paper Mario fights, but with a little less strategy to them than the Paper Mario fights, because Paper Mario had all these enemies where it's like, you can't do this to this enemy, and certain enemies can only be hit with this type of attack and whatnot. While this game is like, yeah, well, every now and again throw like a spiked enemy you can't jump on, but more than likely or not, you can hit him with anything you want. So yeah, still a fun game though. I definitely enjoy it, and I definitely enjoy the way you can evade attacks in that game. That's a really interesting way. And yeah, I've got so many games here that are entries into series I've never played before because I really wanted to check out some of these series, such as this, which is actually the third game in the series, despite me never playing one in it before. It's Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. So yeah. Now the one thing I want to say before I say anything, I got this game for Christmas, and like a day or two after Christmas, Nintendo came out and said they're releasing the entire Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy on the 3DS for like $10, I think. I can't remember. I had to check. But I know it was for really cheap, and that kind of pissed me off a bit, because I mean now I can pick up the other two games in the series and then go and get like Miles Edgeworth and stuff like that. But this game I love so much, it makes me want to check out Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. I mean, this game is a lot of fun. I haven't really played a Phoenix Wright game before, other than the demo for Dual Destinies, and I watched a full Let's Play of the first Phoenix Wright game, done by Nico BBQ, and you guys should definitely check out that Let's Play, it's amazing. But this game is a lot of fun. I love the story, I love the writing, everything in this game is just amazing. I love it so much, and it makes me definitely want to check out the other games in the series, you know, the ones that came before this, the ones that came after this, everything. And I hope this series continues after Dual Destinies, because I don't want this series to end. It's kind of like the Professor Layton series. I hope whatever the 3DS one, something about, I can't remember what the 3DS one was called, actually. Well, there was two ones on the 3DS, something about a mask and some other one, I can't remember, but whatever. Trials, tribulations. That's it for DS. No, 3DS, but before I start with 3DS, I gotta say I'm omitting one game from it simply because I cannot find it for whatever reason. It'll most likely appear in a later game collection update, even though you guys can probably guess what that game is. But yeah. And I'm gonna start off with a game that I have digitally on here. And that is, I don't know if you can really tell what it is, but yeah, it's the original Legend of Zelda. And yeah, I do have the Sonic Boom thing for the background. You know. Yeah, I do have the Sonic Boom background for my 3DS. I like it. I like the music and whatnot. It's cool. I haven't played the Boom games, but whatever. But as for the original Legend of Zelda, I can't say much about it. I didn't grow up playing this game, so I most likely don't have the same experience as a lot of you. I'm a 19-year-old that's played a shit ton of games recently, going back and playing an NES game where everything was a lot more limited and I don't want to say archaic, but I don't know what the right word would be. You know, it's really the only reason you should go back to playing the original Legend of Zelda is for nostalgic reasons. Unless you're a huge Zelda fan. If you're a huge Zelda fan, you should go back and play it. But other than those two reasons, you shouldn't play the original Legend of Zelda. It's just not a very fun game anymore. You know, it's confusing as fuck. The translation was done horribly, and to be honest, a lot of the later Zeldas did everything a lot better than the original. Granted, the original laid the groundwork, but that doesn't mean it's good anymore. It's great to see how Zelda grew up from this, but that's the only reason you should go back and play it. That's enough on me. I got it for free from eShop, so whatever. Last but not least, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Now I never played a Gen 3 Pokemon game, unless you count Colllection and XD. I played those, and those are the closest I got to a Gen 3 Pokemon game. So when the Gen 3 remakes came out, I had to pick one of them up. I heard so much good about the Generation 3 of Pokemon that I had to check it out. So now the only generation I haven't played is Generation 5, which I'll most likely pick up sooner or later. But yeah, Alpha Sapphire is an amazing game. It's about like every other Pokemon game, kind of, except the additions they made from the original to this are amazing. From the opening cutscene being beautifully well done, to some of the new mechanics they've thrown in where you can get certain Pokemon that come with like special items, special moves, special natures, whatever, and the more you encounter them doing this method, the better they'll be. Like, they'll have even better moves, they'll have better IVs or something like that. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I definitely am enjoying it. I don't come back to it that much, because again, I have so much else to play. But yeah, that's it for Alpha Sapphire, because I'm almost running out of time. But yeah, that's it for this update. See you guys next time, where we go over all of my new Wii U games, including all the digital ones, all the physical ones, and some recent releases and shit. Oh man, that's going to be fun. So yeah, see you guys then. Bye-bye.